Happy 1st of May 2026, and we are just closing out the 1st of May. I have some awesome stories to share with you in terms of the lead up, including not sleeping for about 40 hours, doing the launch in terms of the new project we're rolling out, which is called 1st of May Timeline. We're going to review that today as well. And just so you're aware, I intentionally, normally we do the episode, the Quarless Chronicles live every Sunday evening, Eastern Standard Time. We've purposely readjusted so we can fit in to the May block. So what we're going to do, this is how important it is. We are dedicating in the month of May, every episode will cover the 1st of May in terms of these projects that we're putting together. A previous one I'll discuss was the musical project and the timeline, which is a book project. Oh, it's so awesome. I'm going to go over it in detail today. So the theme, which is critical, is wins and lessons. Wins and lessons, because even in life, whether it be something simple like a game, like a legitimate game, or heartbreak, death in the family, misadventures in business, whatever it is, right? So it's like we constantly we have to make decisions. Even if you decide not to do something, that is a decision. So the fact that you are here and alive means that you are constantly making decisions, and those decisions interface and interact with the world around you, and there are other people and animals, right? You go out into, it could be anything. You go out in some dangerous area and you want to go touch a snake, that's a decision, and then the snake may want to bite your ass. So everything that potentially can interact with you can do so. So you are making decisions, interacting with other people, other entities, even elements of nature, okay, are responsive to you, right? I'm just thinking, you decide to cut that tree, you're not aware of the angle, and then the tree falls on you, there you go. Or the tree falls perfectly, you now have firewood for the season, all right? So every decision is what we're going to talk about. So the focus is wins and lessons. So even within a win, of course, we want to see what worked, what didn't work, how we can improve, okay? How the actions that we take from the win affect others, and how that might in the future, how that might affect as we're moving forward in life. And you know what I'm saying? Everything's interconnected. So that is another theme for today. Everything counts. And with this project that I'm working on, it is going to blow your mind, I think, and you can critique it. You can hear me out. I believe it is the most unique, not the most unique. I'm sure there are other things if you compare it in that way. However, it is wildly unique. I've combined a few different concepts and ideas from science fiction, from choose your own path, if you will, these type of storybooks. And it's also, so it's interactive, but it's done in a way where we write as we go. I'll get more into detail later, but it's all driven around this theme of 1st of May. It's called 1st of May Timeline, all right? It's awesome. I'm so excited. So what I've done, just so you're aware, we have everything counts, including what I'm doing now. I am in the present moment with you. I am focused on the 1st of May. And the 1st of May happens to be on the Gregorian calendar, if you will. I think that's how you pronounce it. Every year we have these yearly cycles, and it hits May 1st, May 1st, May 1st, every year, okay? But when you look back into history for thousands of years, this date is very special. Some of you may already know that. You might have For example, I could just think of it here. We're based in Hong Kong. It was a holiday today based on Labor Day here, and it's considered an international holiday for certain things like workers' rights. There are traditions in Europe that have fire ceremonies where May 1st is a celebration of bringing in the new season, this kind of idea, okay? So more and more, even in pop culture, you have the classic Bee Gees song. I think that is the most popular at this moment on May 1st, 2026. But let me tell you, they got some competition coming, okay? There are other songs called First of May that have been made that are originals. There are movies called First of May or the First of May. So First of May is something that's been developing through time. And now with this project, the timeline, 1st of May timeline, we are going to capture the essence of what it actually means. So if you're, or maybe you were born on the 1st of May, maybe you celebrate, maybe you've celebrated in the past, you've been married or you've had an event on the 1st of May, you have family or friends somehow connected to the 1st of May. There are parties going on all over the world on the 1st of May. Maybe you've celebrated. So to you, it has some meaning. Maybe I'm just talking through the phone or computer right now, and I'm talking 1st of May, and I'm all excited, and it's just another day, just another box on the calendar for you. That's what it was for me for many years until I had this spark of awareness, and it came into my mind. This is years ago. At this point, maybe 20 years ago. It was just a spark. It was in my mind. And then years went by. And it's awesome because this is actually in the first chapter of the book, which I'll give you the details on how to check it out. But it's wild. I went to Lantau Island. I went to a temple. I detoxed from scrolling. I detoxed from drugs and any other mood-altering substances. And the mood-altering substance that came was a spiritually altering substance, but it wasn't a substance unless you talk about the ether. The source energy was the substance. It reminds me right now as I'm speaking, I promised a few episodes back, and I'm going to get it to you. Walter Waddles made a book called The Science of Getting Rich. And in this, you could use the idea of rich meaning monetary, money, but really what that means, it could be perceived as an analogy, if you will, but it has to do riches, and money is a type of currency, a type of energy. So what Walter Waddles was discussing, and this is the point that really is touching on me now, I'm getting like a download as we speak. He said, and it's so cool, as I think about it now, the way the book is designed, I'll just tell you, I definitely recommend this as a read, The Science of Getting Rich. He has a chapter and he gives an idea. It's a short chapter, but he gives a key point. And then in the next chapter, he describes some other idea, but he includes the important summary element, like an important little paragraph from chapter 1. He includes it in chapter 2, but now with a new element from chapter 2. When you get to chapter 3, there's some new concepts and ideas that get introduced. And then at the end of chapter 3, you now have the passage from 1, passage from 2, and the newly introduced passage from 3. The book continues on until the final chapter is the dominating message that you're supposed to get from the book. But one of those pieces, which I think comes in chapter 1, is he says, and this, I haven't read this book in years, but as I'm talking to you, as I'm receiving the transmission, it's time for me to take a look at that again because it's waiting for me. There's a message for me in there, and there's a message for you because I'm sharing it with you right now. Lemon water. All right. In it, he says, there is a stuff there is a thinking stuff that permeates, and yeah, there is, stay with me now. Here we go. There is a stuff. It's a thinking stuff that permeates and penetrates, and it's everywhere, is the point, is the message. So what he's saying is, in the time that he wrote it, this was around 1900, the year, he's talking about, oh, this is so brilliant, because this is part of First of May timeline as well. Early on in the book, it's a choose your own. I'm just sharing. I will remember where I'm going with this. Because around this time, at the turn of the century, Max Planck introduced the idea of the quantum field, how everything around us that we believe is solid is essentially energy at the finest, minute little, way down. I'm not a scientist or science person, but I understand the idea of when we go like subatomic in this realm, subatomic level, it's actually little bits of energy. Not more than 99% of everything, hear me again, everything you could think of is actually energy. And at the finest level, it shifts back and forth between matter, energy, matter, energy, matter, energy, like this. And that is how the world that we experience, the 3D world of objects and the fourth dimension of time, this is how we come to perceive all of reality. Walter Wattles, in his simplistic book, was explaining that when he said there's a thinking stuff, he's talking about the substance. And the substance is, it permeates and penetrates everything. What he's talking about is energy. And with that, his whole point of the book is that the conscious mind, when it interfaces with the source energy, the thinking stuff, the substance, it actually co-creates and shifts the reality that you're in. And you are a conscious entity. So you have the ability to do that. And that's what First of May timeline is all about. This is why it's so wild. I won't share it now, but there have been episodes in the past where I was randomly just pulling names and talking about things. And then as I've done my research about 1st of May, they're on the timeline. So I'm like, what? All right. So it's all coming together. It's like a puzzle. So at that moment, when I was at the mountain near the temple, detoxing, and what happened was the spiritual substance came, interface with me. Really what it was is it was a merger. It was basically, I always knew myself as one entity. And when I was there and I was doing this, it was basically just a lot of like, you detox from everything. There's no mind altering substances. There's no phone. You just you're there. You're taking it, you're focusing on your breathing. You're just taking it easy. And in that time, you're open to receive. And I always, when I went, this was the first time I ever went to something like this, a Buddhist retreat, a mindfulness type experience. It was 5 days. In that experience, I only knew myself, right? I'm Jim, I knew myself. In that experience, around the 3rd day, when I was being myself and I was in my own mind and I was thinking, I then sensed Jim, okay? Meaning, it was the way it was, this is how the separation happened. Thank you for listening, because I'm trying to explain it. It's becoming very clear. It was like my thought process became very clear, and the type of feelings and thoughts and emotions that I was feeling was of such a higher vibration, like such a positive level. As I was looking at problems and issues I had in my life, family or whatever, I was processing that, it was just of a much higher level. And then the idea was, this is where the separation was, and it was actually guided from a nun actually. And the idea was, if you feel negative feelings, and they were expressed like anger or fear, these negative vibration type elements, it was like, invite these emotions to come to see what you see. And the whole point was, I was experiencing life from a higher vibrational state, but at the same time, I've experienced, just as you have, all these lower state experiences like anger and fear and all of this, right? So in essence, I'm the same person, right? I'm the same physical person, but these higher vibrational feelings and energies and all this is basically of a conscious level that's non-physical, that like interfaces more deeply with the essence of what everything is, of what source energy, of what God is. So as I was experiencing that, and then I became aware of my own lower vibrational states, I then can sense that it was like two separate entities. So it was like, what? And that was like my breakthrough moment. It's not maybe coming through quite clearly here, but in that moment, I basically fused back together, right? I'm not two people. And in that moment, I just started to cry, and I was like super emotional, and it was just like, whoa, this is so intense, because what happened was, the all of me, the full being of who I am, who has this full range of all these different emotions and moods and states, that whole being was now experiencing the higher vibrational states in a way that it's almost like the vessel wasn't prepared for that, and it was getting overwhelmed with the energy flow. So a natural occurrence would be like tears flowing from the face, trying to communicate, but it wasn't it, and I'm telling you, it was not like, I'm thinking of, I'm around little kids, I teach kids, it's not like like this negative, like you're crying, this kind of thing. It was just like overwhelming. So even trying to formulate speech, and with your tongue, with your jaw, with the way your lips move, like trying to formulate words when you're in this higher vibrational state, it just didn't work. It was like, it's like, nah, the human body ain't ready for this. That's how maybe people speak in tongues, or this idea of like, people are just like out of their mind in a good way. That's sort of what came to me. So I'm getting back to my point. My point was, chapter 1, the website is firstofmaytimeline.com. And in the accountability section, I'll discuss, because right now as we're live, if you go there, it's going to say 0 days till 1st of May, because we were doing a countdown. 5, 4, right? Getting down to the time where 1st of May arrived, right? And we literally just closed out. As I'm speaking, we're going into May 2nd on Earth. So I actually timed it. And through this process of May 1st, I barely slept. I stayed up prior to the 1st, like overnight. The 30th, I didn't sleep. So April 29th was my last night of sleep. I woke up April 30th. I went the full day stay with me. I went the full day. This is Hong Kong time zone. I went the full day April 30th. I went the full day, stayed up all night April 30th, all May 1st until super late, crashed, got up. So in Hong Kong, it was May 2nd, but it was still May 1st in New York, into Los Angeles, East Coast and the West Coast, to Hawaii, to these islands in the end. And then I set up the live stream just as we were going into the future, like that. That's how we do it. All right. And so why did I do it this way? Number one, I'm making sure that this episode is within May, because then we're going to date it May 1st special episode, because the next, and check this out, in the month of May, we have the 31st, which is a Sunday, which is the 5th day in May. So May naturally has 5 episodes built in for this year. We're adding this current episode on the front end. So we are going to have 6 episodes in May. And again, it's not just, 1st of May, 1st of May, 1st of May. What we do is we're going to focus on principles and ideas for this launch. We're already thinking about 1st of May, 2027, because I can foresee the future. This 1st of May timeline project is going to knock your socks off. And this is the beauty of it. If you are a human being on planet Earth, whether you're aware of what 1st of May really is, or this is the first time you're hearing it from me right now, you too can become, or are already, a 1st of Mayer, a FOM, F-O-M, FOM, 1st of Mayer. Remember it, because I wasn't one until a few years ago, because I had no idea about 1st of May. It's just a box on the calendar. And in my 20s, I got introduced to, the idea came to me, like, oh, 1st of May, right? And it felt like there was something meaningful there. I'll get in a little bit. There's a little bit of do we call it a love story? I guess we can call it a love story, but there's something deeper to it. So definitely there's an element of love. It actually goes, I've been loving you, like that, right? So of course there's love, but it goes much deeper than that. It's like a spiritual bond that can now be openly quantifiable, absolutely, but outwardly into more than just like a romantic type of relationship. It goes into like humanity. It's freaking. I gotta get better words to emphasize, better adjectives. So, stay with me now. Okay, I'm all over, but it's very good. So what we're gonna do, I'll just go through what we have. This is now as we hit May 1st, we have completed 12 10-day cycles in 2026. So and this is what's so cool too, I bet you didn't know this, May 1st is actually so dead on, or very close, super close, to being 1/3 of the year complete. So as we get into this new way to count time in cycles, because as we've talked about in the past, weekly cycles are great. Everybody knows weekly cycles for job, for hobbies, whatever, okay? Everyone knows weekly cycles, but they become mundane, routine. You get caught in just living life and going through the motions. Same thing with, there's weeks and months and years and quarters, okay? That's sort of the natural order of things. So what we've done is we take a different way to look at cycles, 10-day cycles, 10 like the decimal system, mathematics, count in tens, baby. So we count in tens, and that gives us a countdown to make things happen. So we have in the month of May, we got 3 more cycles. So we're entering cycle 13, 14, 15. Those will all be completed in May. Yes, we still stick with the weekly cycles. We got 6 of them that are going to focus on 1st of May in the month of May. Other ideas have come to me. For example, the 1st of the month, every month, when June 1st hits, it's 11 months till 1st of May. All right? That's how we're doing it. We are focused on 1st of May and how huge this thing is. And I'm honored from the collective, the 5D collective, that is bestowed upon me this duty to let it be known about how powerful this is. All right. I'm having a little fun here because it has to do with the sci-fi story idea. It's done. I'll share a bit in a moment, but it's done in like a journal type style where it's like, it's not mad scientist. We're not going like Edgar Allan Poe crazy. We're going it's a cool approach, okay? So it's like a little bit quirky, a little bit like, well then this, no, this, that. Yes, and then connecting pieces so it combines factual elements from history. Either it's a one-time event that happened on May 1st, it could be a birth, it could be an invention, it could be some event that happened in history. It could be cyclical, like a traditional ceremonial thing each year. These elements are the factual elements, but you have to look at the puzzle. You have to look underneath the surface of what you're seeing, and then it'll start to reveal itself that there's actually a pattern. So what the book does, the book establishes and reveals the pattern. And once you see the pattern, you're going to be like, wow, is it science fiction? That's how cool it is. I'm super excited. So, I covered all that. We covered wins and lessons, okay? I've had opportunities in the past where too much power was given to an individual within the framework, right? So it's like a one-on-one deal, let's say, where perhaps it's someone, I can't get too much into the weeds, but I've had opportunities in the past where there was huge capital available, huge reach available in terms of millions of people. And it was simply a matter of the deal was made, and it was simply a matter of executing it, right? And then it was a done deal. A dumb deal. That's funny. That's a Freudian slip right there. Yes, it was a dumb deal because in my mind, it was a done deal because on my part, all I needed to do was fulfill the promise I made, which was execute, okay? And if certain variables come to play or whatever, and I need to make decisions, my decision-making ability, my creative skills, all of those elements, it was a sure thing. It was a done deal. And what this was the deal of a lifetime, meaning once this got going, there was a few of these. Once this got going, I would not have to worry about money the rest of my life. I'd be set. It would open up the opportunity bridge to other types of opportunity that I could build on with this. And well, I just have to say, because integrity is highly valuable, I could think of one particular opportunity I had where millions of dollars potentially were mine, and I walked away. So I gave up millions of dollars. But I saved my soul because it was so nasty and deceptive and corrupt that I let it go. All right? So, and in hindsight, right? In hindsight, I could have had millions of dollars. I could be super rich right now. In hindsight, I would do it again. Some of it I would actually cut out of the mistakes I made in the process of, our theme today is wins and lessons. So some of those losses that I took on in terms of, and I can't get into detail, but it was like pressure and really, really challenging my character in terms of how I see myself spiritually, how I want to live, how I want to treat others, including I think of like it doesn't even need to be biblical, because in different faiths there's this general human idea. For example, of course, you don't want people to steal from you, so you don't steal from others. It's kind of like a common thing, right? Including deception and betrayal and this kind of thing. It's like such a foreign concept to me. So lessons learned, okay? Lessons learned. Also, and this is what we're going to get to today, making deals where the other party, one-on-one type deals, where the other party can just cancel after you've put in the work. I get the idea, for everyone out there, I get the idea of you showing your value. Maybe you do something above and beyond to show your worth, but the problem is people will take advantage of that. They'll squeeze you as much as they can and then drop you, okay? But at the same time, I could think of people from the past where maybe they've been burned and they're so concerned about being burned that they miss lots of opportunities. It's like someone's reaching out the hand. Hey, let's shake on it. We don't need a contract. Let's shake on it. Let's move forward a bit, see how we do, and then we'll go from there. If it feels like it's a good fit, and right there they're like, nah, I don't do that. I want to do a contract or whatever. And then it's like, you know what? Yeah, your distrust of me makes it a non-starter. So deal's over before it started. So we need to find a balance where, and this is what's so beautiful about what we're working on. It's critical to find a balance where, and I don't even want to say like trust but verify, right? It's like cliche-ish. The idea is, and maybe this is one of my flaws, right? I want to give people the benefit of the doubt, even though I've met my fair share of deceptive, scummy people. Sadly, some of them you can't get away from because they're in your environment in one way or the other, right? And I don't just mean family, but of course, family could be someone in a work environment, just whatever. It's just people in life, right? The shop owner down the street talking trash about the neighbor, and you just got to deal with it or whatever, right? It's just the reality of things. So, but when you have your own vision of what you're trying to do, whether it's big or small, right? Whatever you're trying to do to accomplish, you're trying to go somewhere, right? When you interact with your environment, you should do it from that, as much as possible, we're all human, from that higher dimensional state where it's positive. It is more trusting because it senses that if I am this way, if I have this state, others potentially have this state. If I'm at a level where I'm distrustful and it's like this person's trying to F me, so I'm gonna F them, or they're trying to F me and I'm cool, but I'm just not I don't want to deal with it. This type of low energy is where you're missing lots of opportunities, and your desire to move forward and achieve something. And again, I'm thinking big, okay, but we can use it on smaller scale things, okay? So okay. So lost my train of thought. Smaller scale thing. Oh, it's about how to interact with the world, okay? And this is what we're dealing with today. It's how to reform when you're trying to achieve something. So you want to statistically maximize the potential for success. So for example, what we've covered early on in what the Quarless Chronicles is all about, Quarless Chronicles Live, Quarless as an actual creative platform, okay? Quarless.com is the premier purpose-driven creative ecosystem on planet Earth in 2026 and beyond. So for it to be a creative ecosystem, purpose driven is where we want to resonate and attract purpose driven people that aren't ambitious in terms of stepping over people to get what they're looking for or what they want to achieve. They're purpose driven because there's something higher. Them succeeding is actually benefiting those around them and potentially the greater good. And when we all synergize and collectively, and I'm not talking about, governmental collectivism, I'm talking about spiritually, collectively coming together for a greater good, that's when big things happen. That's what Quarless.com is all about. Quarless.com. I noticed the closed captions always says Quarless. We're full of core, baby. C-O-R-E, full. We're core full. We're quarless. I like that. We're core full. Quarless. You know what I'm saying? All right. So what the idea is, the Quarless ecosystem, creative ecosystem, has these fundamentals already built in where there are multiple different projects. These projects are hosted on the Quarless platform. A creative team, a brand team comes together. You have different elements on the brand team. You have the creative element that's developing something from the ether, something awesome. Could be music, other types of content, written content like we're doing now with this book project. They're the creative element. Then you also have the traffic element. Generally, an influencer or somebody that has the ability to drive traffic. Within that framework as well, we have capital, because of course, money makes the world go round. It doesn't, of course, but you know what I mean. The capital element, well, it does in a figurative way, okay? The capital element is like an investor who gets a guaranteed return on the money they put in. There's obviously always risk, because if the project fails or if the project doesn't gain ground and it's sitting there, maybe they earn their money back rapidly within a month. Maybe it takes 5 years, but they're guaranteed that as long as the project is functioning and alive, that they will receive some percentage until they get their money plus X amount back. So the return is guaranteed in terms of the structure, but the time frame is not guaranteed. And if the project, this is the beautiful thing. The idea is, once the creator creates the project, it's a done deal. The project is there. So it's not like there's any reason for us to cancel the project, okay? But there may be circumstances that arise that I can't foresee, that the project needs to be taken offline for some reason. That has to be stipulated in the agreement, so the investor is aware of this, right? So we don't have any issue there. But the full intention is to launch the project. Every project we go through, we want it to be huge, successful, and then everybody wins. That's what I started with, is everything counts and everybody wins in terms of what we're working on, okay? So that's the Quarless framework with multiple projects, multiple opportunities, okay? Now with this specific project, 1st of May timeline, I've learned my lesson, okay? Because now and I'll cover this in the accountability section, but we have a list that we're developing, which are already people that are associated with 1st of May in some way. They were born on the 1st of May. They have launched projects or had ceremonies on the 1st of May. The list is huge. We're talking hundreds of people, and that's one element, and that's the difference. Before I mention, if you have, in order for this project to work, if you have a small group or a one-on-one deal, and they're vital. So let's say you have a project you want to launch, you're the creative element, and you have one company or character that is the influencer or is the money behind it, and then they choose, I don't want to do the project anymore, and we already agreed that in doing the project it's like a joint venture. So now if they choose not to do it, it's like the project's dead. Okay, so that's another lesson we've learned. So the idea is, let's say me as the creative, and keep in mind these things that I'm sharing with you, and we're going to have it on the blog so you don't have to go through the whole video. These are core takeaways, mistakes, lessons, wins and lessons, right? These are core things that I've learned through my life. So whoever you are, whatever age, whatever experience you have, these are like core ideas that I wish I would have known at the time, okay? So for example, with this project, creatively, there basically it moves forward no matter what creatively. And then there's potential for not only, remember, I just talked about a couple of things. I'm the creative element of the formula. We have the traffic element and the money element, like the investor element, if they want to help boost the project, and we could put money into marketing, into promotion. There's also a movie concept, all right? There's a movie concept involved here. So now with that said, we have, as I just mentioned, hundreds of potential people that can get involved in the project. We have it linked directly to how to earn money through not only book sales, but merchandising. This is all linked to an affiliate system where the different parties that are connected to this, including, for example, influencers, will have their own, hey, mention my name at checkout and save 10% or whatever it is. And now they're linked directly to the Quarless.com website, the Quarless.com e-store, and then anything people purchase, whether it's 1st of May items, anything within the store, and we are continuing to expand as I speak. All of those things become available, and then this person, this new ally, if you will, they have the ability to drive traffic, and they benefit through earning money. And the project now has strong legs. That project gets put out there, promoting Quarless.com as the engine to find the product, which now with traffic feeds all the other projects, okay? So this is massive, and what I'm going to share right now as we go through is the actual, stay with me now. All right, yep, is the project itself. So actually we have 6 episodes to go through this, right? So I'll just go through the timeline from my experience so you are aware, just very simple by the numbers, okay? So somewhere in my mid-20s, I became aware of 1st of May. It was just something that stood out to me that was different from just a normal date. And that seed got planted in my mind, and years went by before anything came of it. When I was young, in my teenage years, I was the front man of a band, and I used to write when I was young. I would write stories, I would write lyrics, but somewhere around my mid-teen years, I stopped all that. Decades passed, but like I said, let's say around 15 I stopped doing music. Around 25 I get introduced to this idea, and then like 15 plus years goes by after that. Suddenly I go to Lantau. I have this out-of-body experience, amazing experience that changed me. But in that, I received a flood of inspiring ideas in terms of writings. So it started with songs, musical ideas, bass riffs and piano and like the drums, and it was just like, oh yeah. And then the way the vocals can lay on over that. I then went on, because my ability to create all the different instrumental sounds isn't there. So I needed to find someone to help me develop it. I went on a journey looking around, trying different people. I found an outstanding multi-instrumentalist producer that when I was explaining ideas, a riff. He can hear that and be like, how about this note? No. Yep, that note. Oh. Then we drop it in, right? We drop that track. Anyway, I'm getting a little off track, but I'm feeling it. So the music just started flowing to me. The lyrics just started flowing to me. Then, in that process, this concept called 1st of May returned. After like 15 years of knowing about 1st of May, it returned. And then this is the song that got created, okay? What I will do, I will just share the lyrics of the song, but my special request to you, it is now, if you're, whatever platform you're looking on, you're viewing on right now, it is available. The lyrical video is available, so just look it up. It's my name, Jim Quarless, 1st of May, and you'll find the lyrical video there. Check it out. This is the artwork, okay? There we go. Let me try to even that up. All right, so there's the artwork, and I'll read the lyrics, and then it's sort of like a poem. It reads like a poem. And then we'll spend the rest of the episode just talking about the timeline and how awesome this project is and how it's an opportunity for you, absolutely, whoever you are. It's huge. So first, starting with, again, 1st of May. This song was released on May 1st, 2023. And it goes like this. Truthful tale. Luck was I, like one in a million. A hello by chance turned to years, and that's like why I'm writing. Strangers of two, but when it's true, these souls cannot hide it. A pair of stars, galaxy-sized, kind of went boom, bang, they collided. It's the 1st of May, like every day, spring in bloom and forever long. In my mind, steady looping this track, yeah, I sing her song. Lost for words, not so much, that's because I speak real. Took her hand, had to go with just like how I feel. I've been wanting you. I've been wanting you. I've been wanting you. Then one day, it occurred to me that like I really love her. Whatever we are, we were meant to be. I mean timeless forever. Be grateful, have gratitude for God's gifts, or so they say. I know they're right, 'cause here we are, another 1st of May. I've been loving you. 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 All right? I hope you were feeling that, all right? But definitely check out the song. It just came to me. Possibly next episode, I'll perform the song as well. We'll make it, we'll mix it up. All right. Now, I'm excited to show you this. This is the book cover for, hold on, we got to do like drum roll. This is awesome. Here it is. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, This was announced on May 1st, 2026. 1st of May timeline. They're nice and close. And it says on there, you are not outside the system. You are the system. All right. So what I'll do, it's a matter of record, all right? And you might not go, okay, we have different types of people. Someone may just want to go check out the blog and get a sense of that. Someone may want to fully read the press release, or they may just want to sit back right now and listen to me read it. All right. So it's a matter of record. I'm going to go ahead and read the press release in full. All right, here we go. Yep, here we go. Jim Quarless unveils 1st of May timeline on May 1st. A reality-bending true story that evolves with you. Hong Kong, May 1st, 2026. Exactly 3 years after the release of his original 1st of May. Oh, sorry. Let me go again because I admit the fact that it's a song. All right, here we go. All right, this is what I'm going to do because I just got the idea that I'll just do a full read through. It'll be like a post, just me reading the thing. All right, so I'm going to do it like this. Let's do it like that, okay? Press release for immediate release, May 1st, 2026. Jim Quarless unveils 1st of May timeline on May 1st. A reality-bending true story that evolves with you. Hong Kong, May 1st, 2026. Exactly 3 years after the release of his original song, 1st of May, on May 1st, 2023, creator Jim Quarless announces 1st of May timeline, a groundbreaking storytelling experience that blends science fiction, real-world events, and reader participation into a single evolving narrative. While the musical track stands on its own as a reggae-influenced electro-pop love song with soulful lyrics and comforting instrumentals, its underlying themes, human connection, divine timing, and shared experience, now serves as the conceptual foundation for the latest project. 1st of May timeline is presented as a journal transmitted from a higher dimension, from a higher dimensional collective consciousness, and is written openly on Quarless.com. The project fuses historical facts and contemporary events within a non-linear science fiction framework. With options at the end of each chapter, readers choose their path and influence how the timeline unfolds. 1st of May timeline is best described as a sci-fi choose-your-path true story experience, says Quarless. By utilizing a real-time documentation process, the project remains an unknown, a living story that evolves as readers participate. While the unfolding entries of the journal are available on the website, a recorded snapshot of the timeline will be shared on May 1st, 2027. The project seeks to connect with individuals tied to May 1st. If you were born on May 1st, have celebrated or released something meaningful on that date, or simply feel drawn to explore an alternate reality, you may already be on the 1st of May timeline. Learn more and choose your path at firstofmaytimeline.com. About Quarless. Quarless is a global creative platform collaborating with partners worldwide to integrate original music, literary works, and creative content with lifestyle products. Founded by entrepreneur and artist Jim Quarless, the platform exists to inspire individuals to transcend physical, mental, and creative limits. Authentic, original, Quarless. Quarless.com. All right, so that was the press release. And it's there. Please check it out. If you're feeling it, obviously follow the link. And little secret, as soon as you get there to firstofmaytimeline.com, you're on the timeline already. You're in it, okay? The concept is outstanding, okay? So, and literally now we're going to get to accountability, because like I said, if you're on this live right now with me, live, and you go to firstofmaytimeline.com, you ain't going to see much, but we did a lot leading up to this moment. Again, I didn't even sleep. April 30th, 2026, I didn't sleep at all. And so I'm just going to close it out with the plan. We're going to do accountability. Last week, we finalized the concept, and what that is, again, over the next several episodes, I'll go a bit more into it. I'm not going to give away the secret sauce of the framework, but I can tell you this is a very complex network of concepts that are woven together in a way that create an experience for the reader that should be quite interesting and exciting. So what I've done, it took a couple of weeks, but obviously the build up to this was to actually get the core framework and idea in place so I don't get lost in it, okay? Even the writing style is a little bit quirky, a little bit nutty. So it's, you know, I didn't want to go mental from creating this project. So the structure of the book, like a complex puzzle, is complete. There's some fine tuning to do as we go. What it is I can't even share too much, but there are several parts to it, and within each part, you need to make sure that the logic and the framework works within a part. But at the same time, because it is a choose your own path type concept, we have to make sure that from within each part, the reader can go to other parts. And then from those other parts, they all kind of interconnect, all right? So accountability, if you're a hater and you want to see me fail, you're going to love this. I have the overall structure of the concept and the first part ready to go. So once we're putting it together, hopefully we won't run into too many problems. Accountability time, I have multiple chapters written, but not finalized. So once we get off the live, that is my focus, to really focus on the writing and promotion. So when you come and you start to see the writing, if you're someone who loves a good book, are drawn into, just good writing, cool writing, this is what I'm focused on. And I'm very excited about this. Like I said, I used to write stories as a kid. I've thought of myself in recent years as a musical artist because I've written so many. I love poetry, so I write poetry. Basically, it's poetry, and I take the poetry and I formulate it in a rhythmic way where I know it works with music, and then I break it into, this is a verse instead of stanzas, right? It's like, this is a verse, this is a chorus, we got a bridge here. Oh, okay, this works. So I take I take a poem, convert it into lyrics, form that into a song. That is absolutely my passion. But like I said, this project, this writing project done in a journal format, I am absolutely excited about. So that's why, and it's written in real time with you. I'm dedicated and focused on this project. Obviously, a year from now, on on May 1st, 2027, it better be done. Okay. I won't even give any deadlines. I have my own deadlines, but part of this is the fun because that's the whole point. It's like he's nuts, he's quirky, he believes that we are actually on a timeline where of all the dates you could think of on the calendar, 1st of May is this dimensional calendar that we exist. We are in the 1st of May universe, okay? And in the 5th dimension, in the 5D dimension, I'm giving you the plot here. Within the realm where there is no space, there is no time beyond our comprehension, it is already, that's why I didn't think it is already done. The timeline that we are experiencing now within this 4D reality, it has already been done. So what I'm doing in the present moment in this journal writing, that's the beauty of it. That's why it's like not finished. The book's not finished because I have enough of the concepts, the framework, the ideas where I can look back through time and I can see the pattern. So I take the pattern, I document it, but as I document it and I put the pieces of the puzzle together, it shows that although we call it science fiction, is it? That's kind of the idea. So if you love science fiction, you're totally gonna love it. If you're someone who is more has a more logical, scientific type brain, you may find it interesting. Okay, might not be your cup of tea, but it'll definitely be something worth checking out. Where you could be like, man, what is this guy, a flat earther? You know, it's something like this kind of. It'll be fun. Okay, so. So where we are. Frameworks done for the book. Beginning writings are there in terms of the first chapter, and then at the end of that chapter, where the potential places are to go. And once they go there, think about how this thing needs to work. Once they go to those chapters, there needs to be other chapters, and it's like a web, okay? But it has to make sense, right? You can't, it has to make sense. So when the person is reading it and they get to the end and it's like, based on what they just read, it's like, so based on what you just read, do you want to go here or there? Or perhaps, over here. And then it makes sense. So even the person, if something pulls them to one of the options, they can then look at the other options and go, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. And then they decide, okay? So there should be something for everybody in there, all right? So if you got a logic brain, if you like sci-fi, right? I've designed it in a way where it should be an interesting read, and again, with compelling writing, so it should be it's cool. So no matter what happens with the project, I feel very not confident. I am honored to have I'm talking to the 5D. Look, I'm already in it. I'm writing. It's like, I want to thank the 5D collective for giving me this task that I shall complete and prove that the 1st of May timeline is true and we exist in it. Okay. That's sort of the idea. So, and that's why I read the press release. So, it's a story, okay? Don't overthink it. Okay, so last points before we go. The designs. The design is here. The main design. This is awesome, okay? I'm going to share a little secret with you. For thousands of years, in the Celtic culture, May 1st has been prevalent. Through fire ceremonies where, what did it symbolize? What did it mean? We'll get to that. You got to read the book, all right? But this is just this awesome Look, choose your own path adventure framework. So this design is by Kimmy Hung. Outstanding design. She's also working on the designs for the clothing. So for accountability, the clothing and all the other products, actually, we have a lot more than clothing, household items, etc. But we are coming out with a full line of 1st of May products, and Kimmy is working on the design. We are yet to release that, but within the next few days, it's all coming online. So you'll see that. Like this month, we'll be talking about it. Right, I'll be holding up my 1st of May gear. Like, check this out. All right. So that's something we're working on. The press release, as I mentioned, already came out on May 1st. Perfect timing. So what it's proving is on May 1st, there's always this. I am a 1st of Mayor. Okay, I'm a first of Mayor, FOM, because of my contributions on the date. So I've already made the song that put me in it. All right, you can't just party on the day. You got to feel it. You got to believe it. You got to do something. If you're gonna be going to a party on 1st of May, you need to invite everybody. You know what I mean? You got to feel it. You got to believe it. And as you believe it and you're loving it, and it becomes like another holiday on the calendar. Like, I can't miss this. We want everyone to be saying like, "Happy 1st of May, Happy 1st of May," right? Like, it's a common thing. Like when people give a shout, "Hey, Happy 4th of July, hey, Happy 1st of May." It's happening, right? See the future, know it, okay? This word's gonna flow from millions and millions of people everywhere. Billions of people are gonna celebrate 1st of May, okay? That's the idea. So the press release came out on May 1st, and the press release is proclaiming what this project is, where we're going to pull. I'm very excited about pulling all these different characters together, all these different people associated with it. And that's the point as well. I covered everything. We have coming up very soon, because we pushed this episode to make sure we land in May. We now have very soon, within a day or so, we have the episode 18. Between now and episode 18, we are reaching out to, I need to get the list. I'll have the full list next time. Everything is confidential though, so we're not gonna divulge exactly who we're communicating with, etc. I'll be able to give you a general idea, but we're reaching out to hundreds of people, potential partners that have influence. So people with lots of followers, people with capital, people who have, and how are they associated? They may have been born on the 1st of May. They may have celebrated some special event, weddings, or some other event. Maybe it's an event organizer who's interested, and we're already talking about May 1st, 2027, so they could be involved and really help promote and build up their own events. We have those type of characters. We have film projects and other plays that people were involved with 1st of May. We have 1st of May, the song that's not my song. Many original songs called 1st of May. Many people that have done covers of 1st of May. Those people are all contributing to the power of this special day, and our objective, our task, if you will, is to make sure that we at least make an attempt to reach out to all of those people and invite them to this project, to 1st of May timeline, to help amplify the project. And what our task will be for episode 18 is to share where we are with that. So by that time, absolutely, I must present to you the complete list. And whatever it is, I'm thinking maybe 500 names, okay? A complete list. These are the 500 contacts. And then of that list, we're going to give you the math on it, the percentages. So we have a list, let's just call it 500. I'll have an exact number by episode 18. We have 500 people. Of those 500 people, and we'll have other stats about how they're connected, et cetera, but that is irrelevant at this point. But I could share some of that. We'll see. But the main point is 500 people. Maybe I'll cover a few highlights. Like, these people are quite powerful and can help. 500 is the list, let's say. Of those 500, X amount we have already contacted, and of the X amount, Y amount have already, what we're asking them to do, just as a first step, is fill out an interest form, which is on the site. You can go to Quarless.com, or you can go to firstofmaytimeline.com, and from there, you just look around a bit, 1st of May, the project, and you'll be able to find the form, okay? You go to, on Quarless.com, 1st of May, there's a list in the navigation of projects. You go to projects, 1st of May, and then you will find the form on there. We'll make sure it's easy to find. That's all we need to see if people are, to see who, not if, who, to see who is interested. Once they fill in the form, it's a confidential form, but we at least can identify who's interested. And from there, I can definitely report to sort of what kind of numbers, give you a sense of who's on board or who's interested at least. And then from there, we will continue on. And of course, every episode, we focus on bringing some kind of value. And today's value, not only was it wins and lessons, but what those lessons were, which it was to make sure that when you pursue a project or something that you want to succeed, you do it in a way, you leverage it to where you can maximize the potential of success. And I absolutely believe we've done this with 1st of May Timeline. And the process over the next month is you will see an in-depth, up-close look at how we pursue this project to get it off the ground and make it happen. And the beauty of this, it's Quarless Chronicles. We chronicle it, good, bad, and ugly. It is what it is. Lessons learned along the way. All right. Thanks so much for following along, and go to 1stofmaytimeline.com and get involved. All right. Do it. All right. Thanks. Latest.